What investigators found inside Walter Greene's locked cabinet should not have existed. The moment the evidence bag was opened, the room fell silent. Veteran detectives who had spent years examining violent crimes exchanged uneasy glances. Nobody spoke immediately. Nobody needed to, because resting inside the cabinet was a silver bracelet. A bracelet that belonged to Emily Carter. The significance was impossible to ignore. Family members later identified it without hesitation. Emily wore it almost every day. Friends remembered seeing it countless times. Photographs confirmed it. Yet there was one devastating problem. The bracelet had disappeared on the same night Emily vanished. Walter had never mentioned possessing it. He had never reported finding it. And he had never offered any explanation for how it ended up locked away inside a storage unit he secretly maintained for years. For the first time since the investigation began, detectives found themselves confronting the possibility that Walter Greene was far more than an unusually observant neighbor. He might be the missing piece connecting every unanswered question. News of the discovery never reached the public. Investigators deliberately kept the bracelet confidential, hoping the information would help expose inconsistencies during future interviews. When Walter was brought in again, detectives carefully avoided mentioning the item. Instead, they returned to familiar territory. Emily's routine, the unidentified man, the photographs, the notebooks. Initially, Walter remained composed. His answers sounded rehearsed, controlled, predictable. Then investigators asked a simple question. Have you ever entered Emily's property? The pause that followed lasted less than 3 seconds. But experienced detectives noticed it immediately. Walter's eyes shifted toward the table. His fingers tightened. And for the first time during any interview, he appeared genuinely nervous. No, he answered. The response arrived too quickly, too forcefully. Detectives moved on. Hours later, forensic teams completed a detailed examination of Walter's camera equipment. What they discovered added another layer to the mystery. Several photographs had been deleted. Not accidentally, deliberately. The missing files had been removed only days after Emily disappeared. Investigators recovered fragments of the images. Most were corrupted, incomplete. But one photograph survived. It was blurry, captured at night. Yet it revealed something deeply unsettling. Emily's front door, partially open, and standing near the entrance was a figure. Not Emily, not Walter, someone else. Someone whose face remained hidden in darkness. The timestamp placed the image only hours before Emily vanished. Suddenly, the investigation shifted again. The unknown man from the mailbox photograph. The shadowy figure reported near Emily's house. The mysterious meetings. The disconnected phone number. For weeks, investigators had viewed these clues separately. Now they appeared connected, like pieces of a puzzle beginning to reveal a larger picture. Yet the more detectives examined the timeline, the stranger it became. Phone records showed Emily received a final call shortly before 9 p.m. on the night she disappeared. The conversation lasted less than 30 seconds. Afterward, her phone never connected to another tower. The caller's identity remained hidden behind layers of prepaid accounts and false registrations. But investigators noticed something unusual. The call originated surprisingly close to the neighborhood. Close enough that the person making it could have been nearby. Very nearby. As analysts reviewed cell tower data, a cluster of devices emerged. Residents, visitors, passing motorists. Most were quickly identified and eliminated. One remained. A phone that appeared only briefly that evening. It entered the area, stayed less than an hour, then disappeared permanently. No name, no subscriber records, no activity before, no activity after. A ghost device. The timing matched the appearance of the unidentified figure. The timing matched the final call. And most disturbingly, the timing matched an entry in one of Walter's notebooks. A single sentence written the day before Emily vanished. Unlike his usual observations, this note appeared hurried, almost frantic. The handwriting itself looked different, messy, uneven, as if written under stress. The words were simple, but they would haunt investigators for years. He finally came back. Detectives could not determine who Walter meant. No name followed. No explanation appeared elsewhere. Only that sentence. He finally came back. The implication was chilling. Walter may have recognized someone connected to Emily. Someone he had seen before. Someone important enough to record. Yet he never reported it. Never explained it. Never clarified who he was. As investigators dug deeper into Walter's past, another secret emerged. Years before moving into the neighborhood, Walter had lived in a different town nearly 100 miles away. At first, there seemed nothing remarkable about that fact. Then detectives uncovered archived newspaper reports. 2 decades earlier, a woman had disappeared from that community under circumstances disturbingly similar to Emily's case. The victim vanished without signs of struggle. No body was ever found. No suspect was identified. And among the witnesses interviewed at the time was a local resident named Walter Greene. Once again, Walter had claimed to see something. Once again, Walter had appeared unusually interested in the investigation. And once again, investigators had walked away with more questions than answers. The discovery sent a chill through the task force. Was it an extraordinary coincidence? Or had Walter somehow found himself standing near 2 disappearances separated by 20 years? The answer remained buried somewhere within decades of secrets, observations, and half-finished stories. Meanwhile, forensic specialists continued examining evidence recovered from the storage unit. Then they found something hidden beneath a false bottom inside one of the boxes. A sealed envelope, yellowed with age, protected carefully, almost intentionally preserved. Inside was a photograph. The image showed a much younger Walter standing beside 3 other people. One of those faces immediately captured investigators' attention, because despite the passage of time, there was no mistaking it. The man in the photograph looked remarkably similar to the unidentified stranger seen speaking with Emily near her mailbox. The same posture, the same facial structure, the same unsettling eyes. And written on the back of the photograph were 6 words that would transform the entire case. Words investigators were never supposed to see. Words that suggested Walter had been expecting someone, waiting for someone, watching for someone, for a very long time. Some secrets never stay buried forever.